believe it or not, the media, they did want war with Syria, and pretty intensely and over the toply. A new Pew study found that all cable news channels were more in favor of war with Syria than not going to war, and that includes the newest cable channel, the cable news channel Al Jazeera, which had promised a different take and that they were going to give us, because we're so controlled here by the media, they were going to give us something else. Turns out, not exactly. Let's look at some of the numbers on this. Okay, so this is really kind of incredible, and it shows you how partisan everything has become. MSNBC, 64% of their messages about the war were pro-war. Now, at the same point, they also had the highest number of mentions that were anti-war, so they tried to balance themselves out a bit. But as you can see, Fox was at 45 and then 20 against. There's a lot of numbers there. The base point is, as you can see, everything on the blue on the left is higher. All the pro-war messages were higher than the red ones. So that just gives you, if you don't want to break down the numbers with us, there you get the sense with colors. Pretty good. Should this not surprise us? Because the media always wants to go to war because that's when people watch the news, I guess?
It says in the article that all the polls say that we don't want to go. We just came from war. Like, can we get a second? Take a breather. Like, holy crap, I think they all, this maybe is a conspiracy theory, but I feel like they all have a combined interest, whether they're liberal or conservative or whatever box you want to put Al Jazeera in. I think they're all after money, and I think war creates revenue for people, and I think that that's ultimately it's in certain people's best interest to go to war, even though it's not good for the country. I think other people have their
right. So isn't the MSNBC example perfect example of if this was Bush wanting to go to war, obviously MSNBC wouldn't have been pro-war, so it just shows you they're all picking a side with their guys. So Fox was against this war because they don't like Obama. This is Psych 101, right?
It's definitely no shock, though. People tune in when there's a disaster, when there's war. Like, that's when they're glued to the TVs. think about when the trade centers went down, anything like that. You become immersed in these stories, and so they want to push for it. And I think with MSNBC, I think what's happening there is that that is, they're kind of targeting their demographic that's watching it in terms of that's their main story. I think Fox has other stories they tackle on them because their demographic might also be more simpler in other sects of things, and
well said.
That was my PC way of putting things. And I think that's why they talk about it more, because even Democrats want to hear about it because they want to be kind of stand behind, we're not going to war, Obama, this and that. But no, I think it's absolutely no shocker. People, if you look at local news, they talk about car crashes, murders, and you rarely hear about something that's positive happening in the world. It's a shocker, and it's about 5 seconds long. So.
Yeah. So is the fascinating part of this that Al Jazeera did basically the same sort of pro-war messaging that the other three did? Because people thought they were going to come in and give us somehow more of a balanced approach or something more pro-Arab, so to speak. But they're based in Qatar, which has obviously ties to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia was offering for us to pay for us to go to war. Yeah. So is it sort of just this big, mess of there's money in war?
Is it like keeping up with the Joneses? Really, is it like news channels have to keep up with what other news channels are doing? Because there's obviously some type of, recipe for success. People are tuning in. So if one station doesn't do it to a certain level, are people going to just go to the next one?
Yeah, I guess it's a little bit of just sort of like a rallying cry. Like if everyone's like, let's go to war, there's not that much excitement in let's not go to war. Like how much programming.
Let's be peaceful.
Right. Yeah,
let's go to Target.
Yeah. It's like reality television. You don't tune in to see the girls all get along. Like, you look amazing, you look amazing. Da, 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 da. You tune in for the part where you're like, you look amazing, you look amazing. In the interview, they're like, that bitch was I can't believe this shit, So it's like, obviously they're, the ratings are more for the tension and all of that. And we like to tune in to see things like that versus nice, good stories, unfortunately.
Yeah.